Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of our wrestling review show for Friday, January 8th. Um, First off, before we get into the show, I'd like to uh, apologize for a little break in the action we had, I think, at least last week. I think it was just last week. With holidays, and then there was family stuff, my family stuff, personal stuff that happened. So we didn't have the show last week or usual time on Fridays. But John did post two videos. One about Steelers winning AFC North, and about Brody Lee's passing that happened on the 26th, I believe. Yeah. He had his thoughts. So we got something out there for you guys. Have John's thoughts on that. But okay, let's get the little housekeeping out of the way. Let's get into, I guess we'll start off with the show. We just got off watching SmackDown, because we're going to compare, this show to the waste of airwaves that was Monday night. But we'll get to that. We'll start off the show on a good note. It's Friday Night SmackDown, John.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts.
Well, I mean, we say it every single week, Matt. But how is this show just completely night and day difference?
I don't know.
From whatever the hell happens on every single Monday night. It just continuously astounds me. And there were some like small things where I wasn't a big fan of, but my God, just
that's to be expected with everything.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It just how much of a difference that this show is on a weekly basis. And I'll preface by saying this: Roman Reigns, he's a huge part of that, because pretty much any sort of segment or match that he is connected with, chances are it's going to be really damn good. So he's going to automatically, on every single show, it's going to be at least one or two things every single week that are going to be really good. But it's just, my God.
They keep you, it's at least tonight, but overall every week it's just a smooth, consistent show that builds upon itself for the most part. Stuff happens that means something, and they could, again, like I said, continue to build on it week in and week out. Again, regardless if it's the best thing that you're a fan of or not. And then there's minor exceptions and stuff you can, I would say, nitpick on for the most part, but it is the consistently best show of the two, week in, week out, for the longest time. And I laugh at myself because I remember after the draft, they moved people around and brought people from over the Raw, some people, and I'm sitting there going, I'm thinking to myself, oh, damn, I kind of wish the draft didn't happen, because SmackDown was so good. I didn't want them to ruin the mojo.
It didn't matter.
It didn't freaking matter.
As long as they have our tribal chief on that show, man, it's not going to really matter, because, but even outside of that, Big E had a very good IC title match against Apollo Crews, and they're starting to show him with more aggression.
They had the baby. They had them with the baby face. Like, you know what? It's the rule books. Good job. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Don't piss him off. Then he's gonna come and kick your ass.
Right. So I like that. What I don't understand is, why are we having the Street Profits lose the tag team titles, who are more than likely are going to probably win those back in a few weeks. So it's just I don't understand what. Just like
well, first
I'm,
off,
yeah,
in general, the tag team division on both shows, or at least the main roster,
it's shit.
is thin.
It's shit.
So I give it a pass, just not a pass, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I was conflicted with this whole thing. One, multiple conflictions in my mind watching this. One, do I want to see Dolph with? I was about to say Dolph with Ziggler. Uh, Ziggler with Root? No, I'd rather see Root be singles. But did they have a good match? Yes. Did I think the Street Profits should have lost? No.
Absolutely
But on
not.
the other hand, I'm like, well, they've been tag teams a long time. So I was conflicted. I was like internally battling with myself with multiple thoughts.
Honestly, what I was hoping for is hell, you have these guys keep on winning, then eventually, who wins it from them? Jimmy and Jey Uso wins the tag titles from them. That is what I would have done.
I wish.
And then, yeah.
I was thinking, and I was stupid that I remember. I forgot who were tag teams on Raw. Eventually, and I know it's not going to happen, but I think it's beneficial for both brands. And I'll kind of have a case in point here is if you had the New Day still have the champions, you have your face team, and if Rude and Ziggler still won tonight, you have the face versus the heels, and you combine them, maybe New Day, whoever one of those two win, and then a face team comes in battle. If the heels win Ziggler and Rude, you have a face team, whatever. You combine them, you have heel versus face. They should have done it. I thought everybody was thinking New Day versus Street Profits. That would be an awesome match, but obviously that didn't happen. And a case in point where I say it beneficial for both shows. Look, and I know Charlotte gets a bad rap. Don't necessarily agree with everything people say, but look at that SmackDown.
I do. But yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
But I think it was the December 26th. I think it was the Christmas episode when they opened with. Was it a Christmas episode? One of those episodes when they opened with the steel cage match.
Yeah, it was
the Christmas
it was Roman versus
that episode. Yeah. Then right after that, you had that women's match. And right away, when you had Asuka and Charlotte there, tag team champions who can appear on both shows, you had that team, you had Sasha and Bianca, and you had Bayley and Carmella. Right away, that star power in that match shot up. I remember thinking to myself, like, look at all the talent in that ring right now. You get to see that you have that traveling champion, and so you have a tag team division on both shows. If you're keeping separate shows, it doesn't thin out your division because, as you see, it's obvious that it is.
Yeah,
but then you have
especially too, Matt, when we see AEW and NXT who have like multiple tag teams on their shows and like different tag teams.
That's the thing. They have one show in their division. If they had two shows and they had separate people on the division, it would suffer a similar fate.
I wouldn't say that because they have so many people who just aren't doing anything. It's just they just don't have
if you keep all the tag teams that are on TV right now, right? That forget Dark. Let's just forget Dark for right now, right?
Well,
if there's a similar situation, obviously. Then you split those up, you're running into that. I agree. Yeah, they have multiple people, Dark and teams that they can pull. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you just WWE doesn't have as much people to run a 2 hour of Dark, right? I mean, or teams in general. Right. They have
No, because we see like a lot of people who actually get drafted over on either Raw or SmackDown, who they just don't even bother even like using. So
well, yeah,
like they definitely
but they
have,
don't have.
Vince McMahon has he has never liked tag team
Yeah,
wrestling. It's
but
like mashed. It's like mashed potatoes for him.
yeah, but I'm
to
saying
like steak.
no shit on mashed potatoes.
I'm just saying it's like a like side dish for him and not like
it's like a filet
important thing.
mignon to a sloppy Joe.
Sure, sure. Let's go with that.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But then again, that knocking down sloppy Joes. Anyways, but I'm saying, okay, how many tag teams? Okay, they drafted, don't use. Did they not use? One?
Well,
two?
Well, that's the problem. Like, I mean, like if like you look on like Raw, we have like what, two, maybe three tag teams. Like
Yeah.
that just isn't enough there.
That's what I'm saying. They're on separate shows, and either they don't use them. If you combine them, there's more. I'm saying like AEW and NXT, they have some in the works. AEW have tag teams on Dark that are not on TV yet. They have a lot of people.
Yeah, like they have so
on
many.
TV.
Yeah. It's just more of a lack of commitment to actually build building teams and featuring teams.
That's true too.
It's just straight up. It's just straight up freaking laziness more than anything, as far as that is
right. But I'm just but if you're already lazy and you strip yourself of any division with two here, two there. If you weren't lazy, what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You're in a hole, but whatever. We kind of went on that tangent here. But what else?
Yeah, I totally, man. The like freaking we'll just on SmackDown though. So pretty much it looks like we're gonna be involving Adam Pearce with Roman here for the short term, but I kind of think that they probably are going to either make this a triple threat with KO, or he's going to end up taking Adam Pearce's spot. I kind of feel that's probably where they're going, although I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this, and especially how the ending of this thing was
I love
booked. No, I'm talking like more specifically about like Nakamura. I'm not sure it really makes any sense for him to be able to like pin essentially everyone except for Adam Pearce, obviously, especially since he just lost against like Otis 2 or 3 weeks ago.
We don't speak of that.
I'm just
no, but no, that makes sense because he got the holy hell beat out of him by Roman.
That did, but
if they
everything beat before that, no.
Oh well, yeah. I figure okay, if Daniel Bryan is your Royal Rumble winner, right? Let's assume, right?
Yeah, which is why I probably would have done
the same thing.
Yeah, he pins like Nakamura, and basically Jay and like your Roman just absolutely beat the shit out of him, and like he's gone and like off of TV until he comes back at the Rumble. I feel like that's a really easy thing to do right there, and I'm not sure.
I don't
know why they just didn't do that there, and why he got pinned by Nakamura. I just think that was really, really dumb. to be perfectly honest. But at the end, Adam Pearce he obviously pins Nakamura without actually pinning Nakamura, since basically he just like threw him onto him after he got super kicked by Jay. So I mean, obviously, I think there's going to be more to come from.
Yeah, I have to see what they do with Brian going forward with this story to really give a solid opinion on that ending, because it's always like I always, to me it always happens like they did this blah blah blah, and then you see where they go, and it's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Well, yeah, it'll depend to see what they do.
But I don't disagree with what you said. I don't know if they. It's like weird. I don't know if they say, "Oh, Nakamura can, take that funny pin," but then he beats. I would rather see if it was especially like Corbin who did that happened to Corbin. If you have the heel versus a face Pierce, but then you have Corbin beating whoever, and that pisses everybody off. But if he went, but
I would have been fine. I would have been fine with Corbin beating Nakamura, because at this point Nakamura is just another dude, in the company. So I was under the, I mean, hell, I think that this was by far Nakamura's best, best he has looked in a very long time. But at the same time,
hopefully, which I probably will. Hopefully, it's not like a one and done. Like, okay, we're gonna make him look good now, and then
come on now, man.
I know. I'm just saying. I said. I just said, but it was interesting that they chose him to go through Daniel Bryan, Mysterio, and Corbin.
Yeah, I just I mean, especially Ray. I'm like, Ray would probably be a pretty good short-term opponent for Reigns. So I'm like, kind of
true, but it's like he hasn't done anything for a while.
Yeah, but at the same time, he
can be,
he has a name though on top of that, which
right.
Outside of Daniel Bryan in this match, no one else really had that. So, so we got that. I would assume we will see KO at some point soon. That story is still open there. And the other things that we saw to Bianca and Bailey building and both of them announced that they will be in the Rumble. Definitely feel pretty good about Bianca's chances. And Matt, we also found out that are they making Sonya possible SmackDown GM here?
That's at least assistant to Adam Pearce.
Yeah.
Well, somebody brought up a point. Isn't she still in legal in the court stuff now? Still, she's stuff. That's probably why. Get her on TV, but not do anything.
I think she has something in a month or so.
So
I did read something about that.
So it's like a good way to get her on TV, be used in the meantime until all that.
And it definitely seems like that they're going to be bringing her back as a babyface, which they should, because especially after all of that, I don't know how you can possibly bring her back as a heel. To be honest,
you can eventually have her face and eventually ha ha ha.
Eventually, because to me, she's someone that this company really needs to really focus on, because she really proved, especially in that feud against Mandy, she really carried that. If we're being honest,
she helped SmackDown when they were still in the PC and there was no audience.
And
she was one of the few ones that like flourished.
It was pretty much Sasha and like Bailey and everyone else at that point.
Sasha and Bailey flourished. Sonya flourished. Like they got the no crowd really helped Bailey's heel turn, because before that everybody was like, I don't know.
Someone said someone said about like Baby that she's like similar with a heel Chris Jericho, which that is not something that I didn't really think of with just like how like, which I'm like, you know what, I can kind of see that just because
some Jericho iterations,
which I'm like, honestly, that it's a terrible comparison right there.
I get KO. I got KO Jericho vibes, like the best friend, like the way she carries herself, type of thing. Yeah, that's what I get from her. Yeah, that was a good comparison.
Which I was like, and to me, like, she consistently shows every single week. She is one of the top 5 women in the business right now. Like, just her character is so strong right now. I just wish outside of a few weeks ago that she would have gotten some more wins, because I did not find this out, that I think before she pinned, I think it was Bianca. She hadn't won a single match since August when Sasha paid her for that title. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So, but yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but that was pretty much SmackDown.
I had a thought, but if you have, most of the Raw SmackDown roster that's either not competing in a title match at the Rumble, and you get most of the NXT's women division in that Rumble, 30 participants. If you really get the right ones, like, holy crap, that talent in that Rumble.
I know.
Like, just imagine, like, the NXT roster we see, minus like Io, that you see regularly on TV, and
she'll be in that matchup too.
Yeah. So. Right. Well, yeah, you should be that. So imagine, I'm just thinking of 30 women. You had probably Charlotte, Bailey, Bianca, Carmella. Okay, you have Natalia. What's on Raw? Billy Kay. Raw. Kane Rice, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott.
Natalia.
I already said Natalia, I think. Then you go NXT, throw in Ember Moon, Ria Ripley, Raquel, Mercedes, Dakota Kai, Tony Storm, Io, maybe that.
I'm missing Shatzi,
Candace, Indy Hartwell. Who had
they have like between
talent in that can overshadow the men in terms of overall quality of talent. Possibly.
The only problem is I really only see maybe like one or two people who I can see realistically winning that match, and to me, really the only clear-cut person I could see winning that is probably Bianca. But I swear to God, if Charlotte Flair wins this match again, I am coming on here and I am cutting a fiery heel promo because
I don't think they're gonna have her win again.
Hey, she is she. I would not put it past this company. Like,
I don't think she wins it again. No,
this company is pushing her like how they would push a Cena, like Orton, Triple H, like just
she is
pounding down her freaking throats. So.
She is good.
Anyways, but Legends Night. Matt, one question.
Yeah.
Who booked this shit?
Apparently the same people that booked SmackDown, apparently. I don't know, but I do not know. You knew
when the show starts off with the freaking H phone.
I was like, I already knew. I already knew right off the bat. I went,
oh my god, they were gonna start off with this, and Lord, like I was in like
you give Hulk Hogan to say.
Yeah, I was like, man,
the show.
That's how they're gonna open up the show, and pretty much, Matt, like what I didn't understand was they're doing this whole like Legends Night, and pretty much outside of Hogan or sorry on Flair, everyone was pretty much in a like backstage, and
Teddy did something. Segment. Don't forget about Teddy.
Oh yeah, okay, and Teddy too. And we freaking end this show with Bill Goldberg is going to be challenging for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, and all of us should be living in fear because we all know what happened last March, Matt, where a certain person, full-time wrestler, got absolutely just massacred after he was white hot champion for a few months, and Bill Goldberg beats him in 5 minutes. And to those who say, "Oh, he's going to be putting over Drew," I ask you. So we all said the exact same thing when he was going to be facing Wyatt, and look what happened there. So
it's not clear. I hope it happens.
I mean, like, I give this company zero benefit of the out here, especially for how low that these ratings have been. You know full well Vince is probably considering, we should probably to pop the rating. We're gonna put the title on Bill Goldberg, which, by the way, would make zero sense because not only would they be in fact burying Drew, they would also be like burying Roman Reigns since it took everything but the kitchen sink for him to like pin Drew at Survivor Series. So, I mean, so they would effectively, and so it just makes zero sense. But I put absolutely nothing past them.
I will forgive this if Drew wins, and we never speak of it again. We never speak of it again.
If like he wins, I won't care. But
because now you think about, because then besides in an indirect way, you say it's going to bury Roman, right?
Yes.
If Goldberg beats Drew, that buries Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. It's just like
does they both Drew Lesnar in 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
You know what? And it buries Braun Strowman. I know we don't care, but it buries Braun Strowman because Braun beat Goldberg.
Undertaker too, because everything. Yeah, it just
everything.
It's amazing to me that no one in this company thinks about this. If they do have Goldberg win, it's like, guys, if it took everything for Reigns to beat this guy, how does it make any sense for Goldberg to win in 5 minutes? Because as we all know, Matt, Goldberg cannot wrestle long matches. Like, hell, he was sweating just walking out for a freaking promo on Monday night. He was sweating. I'm like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? So it's like, if you're a Drew fan as I am, I would be freaking nervous. And again, wouldn't put anything past this company. And the other thing I want to talk about from that night as well, Matt, Ric Flair.
Go on.
It just like, was their whole thing just to embarrass him? Because that's pretty much is exactly what they did. And like, I'm not sure that they were meant for him to come off as a heel here, but he kind of did. So this was just not good.
I don't know what he came off. I missed the initial.
Yeah,
I missed the trip or whatever. I looked away for 1 second.
Yeah, I just didn't know what they were doing, and obviously after the fact, Charlotte just tears into her father, and I was like, fuck this show. But yeah, so that was Raw. Do you have
no. They had the tag team champions lose, albeit screwy finish with.
Oh yeah, and we're already teasing tension with in the Hurt Business.
There was tension, before that, but really tonight they had them lose, and they had Lashley technically win, but the ref didn't see it, and then lose the Riddle.
And for some reason, the Riddle, who is a babyface, was acting like a heel here. It was just weird booking, which is like nothing outside of the norm there.
I thought there was a thought in my head maybe Keith Lee would win because he came up with the legends and they like made that whole grandiose thing like how he ain't gonna lose now with all these legends, and then he lost. I'm not so mad he lost. I'm so mad like the situation leading up. It didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like you kind of want Drew like you're screwed. But that was the least of the atrocities in that match.
Yeah.
I'd like okay. I don't know. I do not know what that was.
What they're doing. Yeah. I know.
It takes a lot of it took a lot for me to come on. Because I'd say 5 years ago, I wouldn't be this critical of a Monday Night Raw, but it has broken me on the positive face turn Eladio here.
There's no defending that show.
I can't. I literally can't.
Under any conscience, like there's just
I can't say. Well, I can't say. Well, there's not of course, but maybe, but no. There's I can't. And no, in good conscience, anybody can't look at that up and down and be like, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but now onto some shows that we actually like, and we'll begin with AEW New Year's Smash. Overall, Matt, I thought this show up until the last 30 minutes was a pretty average show, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Fair.
But I will say there were some things that I am excited for. Obviously, for the ending of the show, but we'll go we'll go through it all here. Do you have the results?
Yes.
Okay.
They open up the show with your tag team champions, the Young Bucks, with and SCU versus the Acclaim and the Hybrid 2.
Yeah, match was okay.
I was
not really.
I know.
Yeah,
I was still, and I know you gave me crap the last time about this, but I'm still like mind effed with the Young Buck SCU heel face thing. But besides that, I was not interested in this match.
Pay attention, damn it!
I pay attention. It's like it was quickly like it's like 1 week it was this, it was, but now we know what they are.
Yeah.
At the end.
So,
anywho, but besides the point, that's a nitpick.
But yeah,
I was.
Yeah, it was there. Didn't really care about the match. The important thing that happened after this was when SU got on the microphone, where they basically went over their new thing, where they said if they lose, if like if like they lose one more match, they will no longer be a tag team, which I kind of had the feeling that this was going to be coming sooner or later here, because Christopher Daniels, he's definitely up there, yeah, and age, and
be disrespectful, but well,
he's like 51ish now, I think now. So it's like, yeah, like he's definitely past his time now. So I definitely feel like that's going to be happening soon. I'm not sure how soon. I don't expect them to be getting a title shot on their next on the next pay-per-view, but I do think that this is going to be a hyped up match for a big episode of Dynamite, because I definitely feel after this we could possibly see then maybe and maybe Frankie will then like feud with a Scorpio Sky. Then I could see that coming off of that. So so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, and any more thoughts on that?
No, not really. It was all right at spots, but right. I know some people are like, and I know you said it in the past, like it's like a bit soured on the Young Bucks in recent weeks. I'm liking that. I have that, I even know how they explain it, but that feeling on the Young Bucks, like
just like they really haven't been really good for me, anyways, in quite some time. Yeah, they had a freaking classic with an FTR on their last pay-per-view, and also when they faced Kenny and like Hangman earlier in 2020, but in large part just been really underwhelmed by them, if I'm being honest.
But next we had the promo by Moxley, pretty much cutting it on Omega.
Yeah.
Saying that the summary, one day Omega's going to realize he crossed the wrong guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I pretty much had the feeling that they were just going to be continuing that. I imagine.
I don't know how you don't after getting screwed.
Yeah, I feel like that they're going to be pushing this back until Revolution, which I believe is at the end of February. So I'm interested to see how they're going to actually stretch this out here. But a like very good promo for this year. I really like this.
We had Wardlow versus Jake Hager.
Wardlow, he was very good here, man. I'm very high on this guy. Even him actually talking, Matt, I felt like he cut a like very good short promo there as well. So yeah, and to my surprise as well, he actually pinned Hager. I was not expecting that there. Yeah, man.
Can I bring up a nitpick?
Mm-hmm.
I want Wardlow to have a different finishing move, because and the F10 doesn't look as damaging.
Well, probably that had a lot to actually do because of
and then almost
like Hager though
but then
too.
It almost goes back to Lesnar with the F5, and even Cena with the FU or slash AA. Like I've always thought of, especially the AA as a regular finishing move, like not a super AA or whatever.
Yeah,
like that just, and I get again not a Wardlow thing, but like it just bring me back to how just like falling, you know what I mean? Like it looks impressive, but like
honestly, I think it probably just had to do with like Hager because he did that a few times on think like Jungle Boy, and
it's the small guys that look, he can just fling them and they go. But like a big guy, it doesn't look the same. Again, this is
it could be hard. It's
could be hard. It sucks. Like it's just why I saw it with the big guy, that it didn't look as impactful like a Jungle Boy taking it that can sell it with a helicopter spin. But again,
and like Hager, he's like 6'6", 200 and like 60 pounds, so he's not like a like
I get it. I understand. It's just, I don't know. Again, nitpick there. Let's move on because let's see. Backstage private party with Snoop Dogg and Matt Hardy.
This was hilarious.
But it looked like after Matt Hardy came, it looked like Snoop Dogg fell asleep standing up. He kind of was just there.
Oh, and by the way, Matt Hardy and like his wife are going to be having a like a fourth kid now. So it's like they finally got a like baby girl now. So like fourth time's a charm there.
Yeah, he's not stopping there. I wonder what Prince name he's going to name that kid.
We'll see. But and like during this Matt he made both Isaiah and like Mark Quinn sign contracts where he's basically in charge of their career. So I'm interested to see where they're actually taking this to. Matt's definitely more of he's more heelish now, I would say. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see where that goes. So
then we then we had Team Taz come out for a weigh-in between Darby Allin and Brian Cage. They have a match next week for the AEW, AEW TNT Championship.
Yep. Two things with this. Number one, this was a really weird thing that they did. Weighing in Darby Allin, who's I don't know why they actually had this done.
I don't feel like a weigh-in is good. No. If you have two like big guys, if it was like a Hager and Wardlow,
that's completely different.
Yeah, I get like they want to. I get the reasoning behind it. Like, oh, look at this puny guy compared to this big guy, but like I can tell. Like, I don't need to know. I can assume.
Right. And secondly, Matt, that TNT title looks marvelous.
I wish that was initially. I love that. It's the best design of that.
It looks great. I love that title. And third thing, once again, Team Taz are a bunch of like freaking pitches against Sting, which one guy with the bat who has spinal spinal issues, and 4 guys are afraid to come to the ring and beat him up. I just do not get it. But this sets up for a title match for like next week. I will be very surprised if like Darby loses here. It just feels way too soon for him, and it really does feel like that they're going to be having him being associated with with like with like with like with them with them Sting there. So is that kind of how you are feeling as well there? Yeah,
pretty much. And then backstage, MGF was comforting Jake Hager in his loss. Yeah. And then Hager said he was going to beat him up, but he's actually Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So MGF.
He's gaining more and more influence there. With the inner circle, I definitely feel like that they're either just going to completely turn on like Jericho altogether, or they might just have like, or they might just like have like Chris just basically hand it over to MJF, which I wouldn't be completely against that because you can clearly tell, guys are beginning to slowly accept them now. So, very interested to see how they eventually pay this off, because I feel like that they need to begin to pay this off now, because now we're going on a few months now with this. So I would like to see some more progression, which and I believe actually for next week that they have a segment where they're having like a New Year's resolution. So I wonder if something big might happen next week. With that, I kind of hope, because we need to kind of make that next thing there for
next step. Yeah.
Sure.
And we had Cody with Coach Snoop Dogg. Here's Matt Sydal.
Coach Snoop. I'll say, Matt, this match was kind of like not good. Sydal was pretty sloppy, if I'm being perfectly honest here. And you saw Cody doing Sting's finishers there, which I think that was kind of telling. But the main thing that came out of this is after the actual match, Serpentico and like Luther attack Cody and Sydal, and this eventually leads to Snoop.
I totally missed, because I'm watching this while working, and I missed a moment where they hit Serpentico, and at the end of the match, I said Luther and Serpentico. Wait, the hell?
Yeah.
When this happened, and I was like, and I read, because this is how far deep it was. Like, did they have Cody and them have history? I looked back at results. I went, no, what the hell? And then I read, they hit Serpentico. Okay, that's fine. I was like, I gotta pay attention.
And then we see the worst splash frog splash I have ever seen in my entire life, and it was great. I don't care. It looked bad. Honestly, Matt, sometimes someone really screwing up makes it out to be pretty good.
I'd rather have Snoop mess up a dive than like an actual wrestler mess up a dive, because it's Snoop, and we can all go, he's high.
And of course, being freaking predictable as hell, people were pissed at this. They're like, like if WWE had this done, you people would like be like pissed. I'm like, guys, Cody and Sydal held the guy down when Snoop was doing the freaking dive. Like, it's not that big of a freaking deal. Like,
no.
There's more things to freaking complain about. This is definitely not one.
That's not even one that you can make that comparison about.
No, it's like, and it's like,
even I can't do that.
Well, yeah, because
WWE has used celebrities multiple times before.
Exactly. Like, hell, God forbid that they try and get some extra fans to want to tune in. But
that's like the network saying, okay, let's hype up this show, and it's Snoop Dogg. Like,
exactly.
It'd be different if it was like Bert Kreischer or whoever doing the
right. No, Snoop has been on so many wrestling shows. Like, and not to mention, he is doing a show on like TBS. It only makes sense. So
yeah,
it was completely harmless.
That's fine. It's I have all the things. I'm not gonna sit there.
Completely harmless.
Then we got. What did you say? That was that last part.
Oh, completely harmless.
Oh, I thought you said hot garbage. Speaking of hot garbage, Kirishita versus Abaddon for the AEW Women's Championship.
Oh, brother, this was awful. Abaddon, I do not want to see her on TV. Can we please get some actual challengers for Shida? Like, whether it be a like Shauna who just came back, but like, you know, she's a really good worker. Like, at least it would give us a pretty good match out of Shida. Like just these people who should not be on TV should not be getting title matches. Like let's feature women such as like, you know, Hannah J. Get someone from Impact to help this godforsaken women's division right now, because it's awful. Like, there's just this was just not good. The only good thing I could say about it, it was short and it was over. Shida wins, and that's it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the good thing.
That was a good thing, and especially too, this happened right after Ria and like Raquel, which I'm like, Jesus Christ, could you imagine flipping over after that match?
Going from filet mignon to a $5 steak.
Exactly. So
there you go. That's the better thing right there. So before the main event announced for next week, we got Pac versus Eddie Kingston.
I can't wait for that.
Mira versus Chuck Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
They have it here, Chucky T.
Yeah, and if like he loses, he becomes Miro's
young boy.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was a good phrase to use after the DC Rise. Wasn't there a group called the Young Boys, or whatever? I swear I saw that on Twitter, like the Young Boy, or whatever.
I don't know about that, but over in Japan, that's who they refer to, like, people as like trainees or.
I was going to say, did Miro change his gimmick to a Catholic priest?
Yeah. What the hell was he wearing? I was like, what the heck was he?
I don't know. I thought it was pot leaves, but it wasn't pot leaves.
Yeah.
I apologize for the Catholic priest joke, by the way. But come on. It's there. Until after Kip and Penelope's wedding, which they're never going to get married, apparently. So it's going to be a long time. Because it just felt like it. Did they announce the wedding date?
Yeah, it's like the first or second week of
February.
Hopefully then Miro just beats the shit out of Kevin so that he can move on to more meaningful things and not just wasting his game.
Hard to come back from whatever the hell he's doing now. Yeah. Anywho, you got the waiting room with Britt Baker featuring Cody, FTR versus Jurassic Express, Darby Allin versus Brian Cage, Serena Deeb versus Tay Conti for the NWA Women's Championship.
Which, by the way,
better of the two women's championship matches of this thing.
Which, by the way, they were supposed to actually have Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, but unfortunately, like Thunder Rosa, she came into contact with like someone who tested positive for the COVID, so obviously they had to reschedule that there.
Elite or in action.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
Inner Circle's New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. So, yep.
And we get to the main event: Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix for the World Championship.
Yeah, this was awesome. I love this match. I tell you, those freaking knees that Kenny was giving to Phoenix, they look just devastating as hell. Just a really fun match, a crazy match. Obviously Kenny he goes over here. Matt, what'd you think about this here?
Minus like a few nitpicks. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah.
I think this is, at least in recent memories, one of my most enjoyable Kenny Omega matches.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I enjoy. I mean, again, good. But the bigger story was what happened after. To go off the air. They showed backstage Butcher and the Blade beating up on Penta and was it Kingston or Power?
Yeah.
Kingston
and like Pac, yeah.
And Pac, and then I think was
Gallows and Anderson showed up.
Well, that was after. Was it after Moxley came out?
Yeah. He hit like he hit Kenny with that and was just beating him up, and then obviously Gallows and Anderson showed up, and they just beat up. And I was going to really bring this up, and I'm glad that they did that. That they just didn't have people on the freaking outside, just basically watching people from a completely different company beating up like Moxie there, because that would have been a giant plot hole there. But obviously those two beat them up. Eventually Matt and like Nick Jackson come out. They kind of try to basically calm everyone down, and we seem to get a Bullet Club reunion here, which I'm not sure if it's a full one, just because both like Matt and like Nick seemed really
hesitant,
reluctant. Yep.
Yeah.
So there's definitely more to come with this, for sure. Interested to see how this is all going to go, and I think this will be the probably for the beginning of seeing more Impact talent coming over. I think it's, which more specifically for the women, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so that was AEW.
All right, and now we're gonna move on to NXT New Year's Evil.
Evil.
Yeah, and I'll say this about the show: a solid show. I wouldn't call it a great show, but I wouldn't call it a like bad show. I do kind of wish that they would have ended the show on some sort of a like cliffhanger. But that was just a like a minor thing for me there. But we obviously kick it off, Matt, with like Damien with Damien Priest versus Karrion Kross. This was just a good old hoss fight here, Matt. Just beat the shit out of each other here.
Yep.
And obviously Karrion, as expected, he went over here, and I would think this is probably it for like Damien here. I gotta think he's probably getting called up, and essentially multiple news sites have been saying this as well.
Yeah.
So I gotta think he's gonna be showing up on the Royal Rumble here. So
one would think, yeah.
So
he was supposed to come up last week.
And thank God that he didn't, because as like we said last night, that would have made zero sense.
Right.
So like some thoughts. Yes, some thoughts on the match.
So that's, again, as good as I expected to be with these two. Solid match. And Cross gets the win as expected, looking strong. Damien Priest looked good. Just solid match to open the show. Did not disappoint. Then we had backstage. I think Undisputed Era. At least Roderick Strong and Adam Cole announced they're going to be in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And then eventually we'll get talk this now. There's going to be a women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic down the line.
I kind of had a feeling that they were going to be eventually having this at some point. It was just a matter of like when.
Who they get in that tournament.
I'm not sure. But I mean, like, there's definitely a lot of options that they can do. I'm just kind of interested to see how they're going to be tying this into like current angles, because I know on the like men's side, I kind of have a feeling that probably one of the early favorites might be grizzled young veterans. I think
between them and Undisputed Era to continue that McAfee team feud. We'll see. The women, I'm more interested because that means whoever wins gets to face Charlotte and Asuka. One would assume, because if the men get the title shot, the women are going to too. So you get the main roster tag team champions down in NXT, which whoever wins, that's probably going to be a banger. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, like, because I think
tag team titles down in NXT, or an NXT team win it.
It's where they should be, honestly, because they just don't have enough teams on the main roster. Like, it's just whereas in NXT they have more people to where they can build an actual.
People should be able to go back and forth.
Right.
Not the champions, of course, but like other people if they're competing. That would help.
Exactly.
Next match, we have the Cruiserweight title match, Grand Metalik versus Santos Escobar.
Yeah, this was okay. I wasn't honestly completely interested in this match. It wasn't terrible by any means. Yeah, it's just just didn't really care about the actual people. Well, outside of like I was
about to say, don't
Escobar,
Santos.
But just like, let the leak. I mean, like, this was essentially booked on last week, so it's like wasn't really any sort of like build. It was just kind of done. It was just kind of.
But I'm saying
a second too.
I'm mad. Like, look at Lucha House Party when they're not booked chasing the 24/7 champion.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are very good in ring guys. It's just there just wasn't really any angle or anything here to make me actually care. So I'm hoping that they start to build some actual challengers for Escobar here, because it really does feel like that he doesn't really have any other challengers right now, because obviously Jake Alice is he's more so feuding with Swerve right now, so I'm not exactly sure where they are going to go with after this.
We get a quick little promo by Mercedes Martinez about tagging Io. Then we got the return of Xia Li versus poor old Katrina Cortez.
Yeah,
Xia Li looks jacked.
Like when I saw Xia Li, I immediately thought of like Zhang Wei Li, who is a current UFC strawweight champion right now. Just absolute killer assassin. I mean, like just that one kick that she laid on poor Cortez, man. I was just like, Jesus Christ. And so obviously she wins pretty strongly here. And why Boa was like why he was like dressed like someone off of the
Matrix,
of the freaking Matrix was just kind of weird, but interesting at the same time. So we'll see where she goes, but definitely a complete 180 as far as Xia Li is concerned. They're definitely giving her a really big chance here to really get over. So we'll see where this goes with her, you know.
And then we get the last woman standing match: Ria Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, this was a freaking war. Ria is just really damn good. Raquel has come a very long way for sure. And it was booked pretty good to where like Ria, she didn't really lose anything here. And by far the funniest thing was when she put Dakota Kai in that small ass locker and she fit in there like a goddamn glove there, which was hilarious. So
that small, so you can fit in there, room to spare.
Right. And one would think Raquel is going to be getting a title shot relatively soon. So interested to see what they have next for her, because for Io, she's also tied up with like whether it's like, you know, Mercedes Martinez or Tony Storm. So not exactly sure where things are going as far as that it's concerned, but I think at least for the short term, they will probably have we'll probably have like Raquel and Dakota Kai in the women's Dusty Cup there. So I think that's probably something good to kind of keep her busy until they eventually have that match there. So any other thoughts there, Matt?
No, well, pretty much it. We got Johnny getting like basically a police escort to the CWC
by Scott Steiner.
Basically. They're in the ring, kind of promo. They get I think Hartwell and Theory get him a custom drawing of the way all four of them as pretty much Avengers. Austin Theory, it was somehow the Hulk.
Yeah, his shoulders and like his arms were up about like 50 times bigger than his head there. So that was interesting. And then then eventually Shatzi's weird ass comes out, and she shoots Austin in the freaking dick with something, and that would be a story of
with the tank, the bullets from the tank, John.
It was it was corny as hell, which, as like this is just not something that I'm a big fan of with Shotzi. It just comes off really over the top for me, but this eventually leads to a mixed tag match between Kushida and Shotzi versus Johnny and Candace. What do you think about this segment and this match here, Matt?
I like the match. Kushida come in, get the win. I'm more amazed how quickly Dexter Lumis can draw that picture of this match when he announced it.
But magical powers, apparently.
This was all right. Obviously, Kushida is in line for a title shot,
which I would imagine that's going to be happening on Takeover, because I think that's only a month away now. So
I would assume that would have to be then. I think.
And for the finish of the match, Kushida obviously pinned Johnny, and before that, Austin Theory, he got hit in the dick again. So he's gonna be pretty sore for the next
nuts. And then we have the main event NXT title match: Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor. Finn winning by submission to retain.
Not really any surprise here. Match was solid. Nothing to really complain about. One would assume. Yep. One would assume we're probably are going to be getting Finn versus Karrion Kross. For next, I don't think there is really any other contenders right now. So I would assume this is where Karrion Kross regains his title, because I don't see any reason why you would not just put the title back on him there.
He never lost, but
that's. I think that was pretty much it there, Matt.
Pretty much. I like the irony and the storytelling of Balor pulling on O'Reilly's jaw that was hurt in the match to win. I know he said that leading up to it, but the irony, the receipt was cashed for that. So that was a good comeback around for that. But that was solid show. That was NXT.
Yeah. All right. And now we are just going to go over a few other smaller things here. So Matt, we got some news. Ring of Honor. They have parted ways with Marty Scurll, who has been pretty much MIA since the whole I'm speaking out movement, where he was accused of having sexual relations with a teenager, and ever since then he pretty much hasn't been seen. I can't say I am all that shocked about this here, Matt. I just didn't think that there was going to be any way that they were going to be ever bringing him back. It was just a matter of when he was going to actually be cut. Now the question is, where does he go now? Because I don't think that he's going to be signed over over in AEW. To me, it's either WWE or Japan right now. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. How How about you?
Yeah, I think it's those two. I think if he does go to WWE, I think it's NXT.
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, New Japan, I think, could be a good fit too. I mean,
That's
it all
probably
I
where he should go.
for these. I really don't know what these people want and what's going on. I never know, like, oh, he should go here, he should go here. I mean, it all depends, but I mean, NXT would be a good, and that's another star power there.
Which I think it's either there on there too. It's just Tony Khan, he's not gonna want any of that bad press there. And in WWE, as like we have seen, they don't really care about that because hell, like Velveteen Dream is like there still. So
evidence damage on.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's probably the best. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see where that goes, but definitely his stock has just completely just plummeted with in the last year, and definitely that like speaking out movement just killed him. So and on the like free agency end, there has been some like potential news of like Jay White, who's currently signed over Japan. He's being rumored to be really interested by WWE, and he's really considering that. And of course, everyone is just getting so angry that he's considering signing there.
I don't know. I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, he's pretty much one of New Japan's top guys right now, and I just wanted to talk about people who were signed or who high profile independent guys who want to sign with WWE. I am never going to criticize someone who wants to make much money as possible.
They want to sign with WWE, let them sign with WWE. They want to sign with WWE, sign there. Do you wish a show you watch more of the other than they go to your show? Sure, but like, who are we, us schmucks,
right,
saying, oh, you shouldn't go to WWE, you need to go to the AEW, man? Like, like whatever's best for the individual person, they do. Like how he's used, that's like one thing possibly, but like if he signs with WWE, it's like, okay,
and my whole thing is as is too, on top of that, is like, I just don't want to hear anyone who signs over to freaking complain about their spot, because full well, when you are signing there, you know what you are getting yourself into. There is plenty of like evidence, whether it is guys such as FTR, Chris Jericho, like CM Punk. Like, there's plenty of cases to show you how they conduct with their actual business there. So I just do not want to be hearing that, but at the same time, fans just need to let these guys make their own decisions. It's none of our freaking business what they decide to do with their careers. Especially when you are in a profession as this one, Matt. Like, you need to make as much as you can, because because like you just never know when it can just be taken away from you. So yeah, that's kind of all that I wanted to say there. And also one last thing I wanted to touch on, Matt. It's being reported by John Alba. We unfortunately we will not be having any sort of like fans at this year's Royal Rumble, which I'm not entirely surprised about. I feel like that probably I'm hoping for like Mania we finally have some fans then, because you would think what 2 or 3 months from now we will. And I really think that that the company is really taking a very close eye on the Super Bowl, which is also is like being held at like Tampa, and I think I want to say that they're going to have around like 30,000 fans there. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that is what they are projecting to have for the Super Bowl, and I would imagine that you could see like Vince having that there, and I'm really crossing my fingers that we have a crowd for that show, even if it doesn't look as like pleasing there, Matt. Like we need like live crowds, and it's going to really help out these shows, you know.
Oh yeah, I think if they can get it for Mania, I think you do it. Rumble, it sucks, but like, what are you gonna like? What are you gonna do? Like, you can't. I don't know how. I don't know how they would do it. It would be like a selected to sit like in the front row. They have to like redo what they have set up as the Thunderdome, because you couldn't do like this is like thematic stuff. The like pyro that's behind, like in the crowd, or like Randy Orton's like raining pyro that's like above. So there's stuff you would have to cut out, obviously, for reasons. I don't know what they would do, because I don't think they would take everything away and set the Royal Rumble up like they did in like the last couple of years in baseball stadiums with like half of it empty. I don't know what they would have done, but it's neither here nor there because they're not having any. Again, it at least there'd be some, like, even if it's fake, some noise going on, because if it was still like nothing, it wouldn't be the same. But all in all, I don't know. I don't know what else you would do. Like, I don't know. With everything going on, I think it's way too early.
Until this vaccine is more distributed out, which I'm hoping that by April it's going to be a lot better, and from all accounts, that it's actually working. It's just getting a hard time getting this out there right now. So hopefully by then, and hopefully by like June, July, we start to have some freaking normalcy. I'm sick of quarantining and shit. So yeah, but yeah, guys, that's going to pretty much do it for this week's wrestling podcast. We thank you for tuning in. We will also have episode 73 of our weekly podcast that will be dropping tomorrow at like 3 p.m. So be aware of that, and as always, follow us on Twitter, and like, comment, and subscribe. And we shall see you later. Have a good night, everyone.
See ya.